Earlier this week, during my opening speech, I asked for Rotary to place a new emphasis on taking care of our fellow members and those in our communities, especially in regard to our mental health. I also promised to explain why mental health was such an important topic for me. And so this morning, I would like to share that why. And to do so, I want to tell you about Ian. Like me, Ian came from Edinburgh. He was born in 1960, which made him 3 years younger than me, but we attended the same school, the Royal High School. Ian grew up in a loving, caring family with a single sibling, his mother and father instilling in their children a good sense of values. He grew up happy. Ian developed many interests down the years that allowed him to make a large circle of friends, and he was always the life and soul of the party. He would often join me and other friends at rugby matches, watching Scotland play and frequently lose to England and Wales in particular. Now, on leaving school, Ian studied computer science at Heriot-Watt University in Scotland. And as an outstanding student in his chosen field, he was in great demand from potential employers as he approached graduation. Like many young Scots before him, Ian left Scotland to work and joined STC in Stevenage, close to London, England. I saw rather less of Ian once he moved away from Scotland, but we were regularly in touch and always caught up whenever he came back to Edinburgh to visit his parents. Ian didn't just have an active social life. He was a great success professionally as well. He won several computer industry awards as his expertise in the field was recognised. When he first relocated to England from Scotland, Ian joined and was an active member of the Rotaract Club of Hitchin. And it was through Rotaract that he met and fell in love with Jean, a very English girl with a very Scottish name. Heather and I were at their wedding in 1989, and a great time was had by all, especially by our daughters, Sarah and Rebecca, who at the age of 5 and 3 were asked to be flower girls. Ian's career continued to flourish as his talent was recognised on a wider scale. He and Jean had 2 delightful children, Lucy and Jamie, and they were the happiest of families, enjoying life to the fullest with a beautiful home in Buckinghamshire, not far from London, and a lifestyle to match. Heather and I, along with our daughters Sarah and Rebecca, would often see them when they visited Scotland, and we would often visit them at their home in England. But somehow, sometime, somewhere along the way, something changed for Ian, and he began to suffer from poor mental health. That black dog of depression, first described by Sir Winston Churchill, gradually overtook the things he once loved, the person he once recognized in the mirror, the life he once lived. It followed him around like a shadow, like a large, lumbering shadow, loyal as a canine. Nobody knew it, not Jean, his wife, nor his family, nor his friends. Like many sufferers of poor mental health, Ian concealed it so very well. I guess it was for fear of being seen as weak, or for fear of being judged, or even for fear of being rejected. Eventually, after suffering in silence for who knows how long, it all became too much for Ian. And on the 8th of February 2014, at the age of 53, while attending a business conference in San Diego, California, Ian took his own life, leaving behind him Jean, Lucy and Jamie, then in their teens, an extended family, and a large circle of friends whose lives were changed forever, and who continue to this day to ask themselves the questions: why? What signs did we miss? How much more could we have done? I believe that one of the main reasons Ian and so many others like him reached the point he did was that mental health remains such a taboo subject, that mental health supplies remain very, very short, that people do not reach out to each other and ask the question, "How are you?" Or perhaps, to be more accurate, "How are you really?" I've heard it said that the mental health system isn't broken, it just hasn't been built yet. Well, maybe, just maybe, Rotary can, as it has done with so many other things, help build it. I believe that we in Rotary have a big part to play in the de-stigmatization of mental health, in learning how to prevent issues while also making mental health services more available, and by being there for one another, for asking that question, how are you really? And that is why I want us to prioritize mental health during 2023-24, and hopefully beyond. And in a minute, I'd like you to hear from an expert in the field, Dr. Geeta Jairam, a psychiatrist and associate professor at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine and the founding vice chair of the Rotary Mental Health Initiative Action Group. She also serves on the leadership team of that action group. She's a past Rotaractor, a past district governor, and is currently district foundation chair. And she is the 2015 recipient of the Global Alumnus Service to Humanity Award for Rotary. Working with professionals like Dr. Jairam, we aim to create a space where people both within Rotary and our broader communities feel safe talking about and addressing mental health issues. We will encourage clubs and districts to take action to erase the stigma associated with discussing emotional well-being, raise awareness of mental health needs for ourselves and those around us, work together on proven prevention techniques, and improve access to quality mental health services. It's a big ask. It's an important task. And I'm asking you to become champions of this effort. But before I finish, there is one more thing I want to tell you about Ian. Ian was my brother, my only brother. And believe me, I don't tell you that to seek your sympathy, but to merely illustrate that any one of us can be affected by the scourge of poor mental health. Any one of us can be left seeking answers to the questions: why? What signs did we miss? What more could we have done?